Reeds. There's too many brands, too many options. How do you know which are best? Here at the Saxophone Academy, we've set out to find the 3 best reeds that money can buy using the power of science. Today, I have picked 3 reed brands, actually all 3 a different strength that I use, that I love the performance, I love the consistency out of the box, and I love the longevity. I do this out of a sincere hope to help you with a couple of problems. Number 1, decision fatigue. There are so many brands out there to choose from. It really is overwhelming. You go to the music store and you could spend thousands of dollars and still not try every reed cut and shape out of the box. So number 1, I want to help remove a little decision fatigue. So unless you really enjoy exploring, you can pick one of these knowing that there are hundreds of professionals all over the world that have great success. Number 2, to remove a little bit of the doubt. You know what I'm talking about. You're practicing, something's not going well, and you're thinking, am I using the right kind of reed? What if I changed reeds? Would that help? Well, if you don't want that problem, you can pick any of these 3 that I'm talking about today, and I can assure you, you're going to have great success. And if there's a problem, it's probably not the reed. So then you can put that bit of doubt out of your mind and focus on the most important part of the instrument, you.
Hi. Oh, you're doing such a good job.
The Vandoren Traditional Cut Reed. Vandoren's been making reeds a long time, since 1905 in fact. They're quite good at it. I've played them on and off throughout my career, found them to be highly consistent. Fun fact, the more you play, the more developed your embouchure becomes. Reeds magically become more consistent and more play out of the box. Fun little tidbit that you can look forward to on your journey in the saxophone. The traditional reed is my favorite cut of Vandoren, and my biggest gripe with Vandoren is they have just too many different cuts. The number of colors and names and spectrums across the shelf at your local music store is overwhelming. I like these the best. You may be thinking, well, hold on, Dr. Wally, they're very good, but what about for jazz? Yes. Now, if I were to use my classical reed, which is a 3.5 Vandoren Traditional on my jazz mouthpiece, it would sound stuffy. But if I go down a full strength to 2.5, I really love the way it sounds and feels. Price-wise, these are in the middle of the pack, around $30 a box. That's not cheap, I realize. But these are distributed by Dancer, and one of the things I really like about Vandoren is their distribution network is ginormous. You can find these in music shops all over the world. So if your luggage is stolen or all your reeds run away, you can go to the local music shop and find your preferred reed, and most likely, unless you're playing on a very strange strength, whatever you're looking for. And that availability is something I really like. Now, the one thing I don't love about Vandoren is these little sealed packets, the flow packs. The thinking is it keeps the humidity consistent because they seal them in France. Then to the store shelf, into your house, they should be more consistent, play out of the box, and last longer, possibly. I've not found that to be the case. In many years of playing Vandoren reeds before these little packs and after, I've not noticed a huge difference. Some of my colleagues do disagree, full disclosure, but I've not noticed the difference between these and other brands that don't use the flow packs. The thinking is that you open it up and there's little, French air inside. I can't tell any difference. No, too much. Down here, play down here, Tyler. The Royal by D'Addario. They used to be the Rico Royal, but now they're just Royal. They're made by D'Addario now, which actually used to be the distributor for Vandoren. Then Vandoren and D'Addario said they wanted to go halvesies and buy Rico together. And the presidents, who apparently are friends, both agreed on it. With the lawyers getting involved, it didn't work out business-wise. So now Rico is owned by D'Addario, better known as a string company, and D'Addario makes both Rico and the Royals, Jazz Selects, and many other fantastic products. Now, since Daddario bought Rico and now own the Royal brand, they also have premium select jazz lines of reeds, which I think are excellent as well. They've invested millions in production and quality control. They actually have machine from manufacturer and quality control. They have actually these very sensitive cameras that detect like 30 points of possible error along the reed and eject them from the herd if they are not up to stuff. So I found the quality control to be quite good, and I've really enjoyed these reeds. Now, they do make more expensive select jazz lines, but I gotta tell you, the Royals, which have been around forever, they're a filed reed and they're just a hoot to play. Again, I think their select jazz reeds are excellent. I actually prefer the Royal. I think they have a little bit broader tone, a little bit less focus. They seem to have a little bit more meat towards the tip to my preference. That gives it a little bit more balance across the registers. The select jazz that I found have a little bit more zip at the front end. They're excellent as well. But for my style, the Royals are great. Now, I had a series of long conversations with Andrea Harrell, their product manager, learned a lot about the history and a lot of the facts that I'm sharing with you today. One interesting thing of note is that Daddario, hence Royal, Rico, and the Select Jazz, all across their line, they use both French cane and Argentine or Argentinian cane. Now, how do you know which of those types of cane go in which reeds? You'll never know, and they'll never tell. They did in-house testing, had players experience both the French and Argentine cane, and actually in their testing, according to Andrea, the Argentine won out ever so slightly in preference. So they mix them all together, and they go across the lines. Reed fun fact. Here's another Reed fun fact. Lavaz that many prefer over other brands, we now know are owned by Rico and owned by Daddario. But they're not just owned by Rico, they are Rico. They're the exact same reeds with a different stamp put into a different box. They're the same whether you like to admit it or not. And it's not just a recent thing. They've always been the same.
Tasty and nutritious.
These reeds are the brainchild of Jack Tyler. It used to be Jack Finucane, now it's Jack Tyler. The witness protection program has failed him miserably. So he actually approached Daniel Rigatti of Rigatti Reeds. Now, Rigatti are a premium French brand of reeds that are really quite good as well, and wanted a different cut. Now, these are not OEM or white label reeds, meaning it's not they're taking Rigatti reeds and just sticking them in a different box. He actually did product research and development with Daniel Rigatti of Rigatti Reeds, really dealing with the thickness of the tip of these reeds to really change the sound and response. And my experience, the longevity as well when you have a little bit more material at the tip.
Hi. Oh, you're doing such a good job.
Now, recently, Jack came out with the silver line as well. It's a similar tip profile, but a little less meat around the heart, giving it more brilliance. Now, I prefer personally, having tried both of these for many weeks now, the black box for alto. I think the alto inherently, just given the tessitura, has enough brilliance. So these were very good. I prefer the black box, but I have a feeling tenor players around the world are going to really fall in love with these. And if the back order status is any indication, I think I'm probably right in that assessment. Now, after chatting with Jack at the Boston Sax Shop about the black and the silver reeds, there was a rumor, okay, he told me, he may be developing a classical reed. So if we all wish and hope real hard, I hope he does come through, and I certainly would love to test and give some feedback on those. Hey, I need your help. I'm really and truly interested in what you love. What are you playing on? What reads have been absolute poison to your playing? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic weekend. Go practice, and I'll see you next Friday.